What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Interview Studio at New York Comic Con 2024. I am lucky enough to be sitting with some of the team behind Passenger. Huge congratulations on your show.
Thank you.
So there's many people out there who have seen your show. We're going to keep this spoiler free. And there's many interesting things that unfold here. So, Andy, I'm going to come your way first as far as screenwriting goes in general. So I am wondering what kicked off the itch to write for you to start? Is it something you always knew you had in you, or was it this story in particular?
The former, I'd say. I've always kind of like etched little imaginings on the back of bus receipts or in like coffee shops. I'll always come up with an idea and then grab a piece of paper off a waiter and go, am I all right? Have you got a pen? Can I just quickly? It's little ideas are always kind of like springing around inside my head the entire time. And so, yes, Passenger, I guess, was the most fully formed of those ideas that I've had in a while. And it's kind of partly that and partly an idea I guess I've had since growing up, because it relates to where I grew up and the people I grew up with. And so the whole thing kind of like matched quite well in my head.
The answer to this might be no, but as someone who always like scribbles things down on pieces of paper, like, do you either remember any little thing that you've scribbled that now we can see in the finished show?
Oh, I've got a ton of those at home. But maybe is the answer to that.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'll take that.
Maybe.
There's
Okay.
so many story questions that I know I can't ask right now.
Okay.
So you craft the idea for Passenger. I am curious, what surprised you most, especially with all your experience working in this industry as an actor, about what it takes to take a script and then get it a green light to go to series?
Oh, it's the grind behind the scenes is huge. It's the detail that goes into it. I mean, the imagine what you're seeing behind you, but just art department. So the day that I was first introduced to art department, and it was I feel so fortunate to have had this, but for people to bring every facet of every idea or every imagining you've had in your head to life, not just the amazing actors, but this team in this art department who are working day and night, coming up with every little tiny thing that you've dreamt up, everything on the script, from a notebook to a vehicle to whatever, to a video, to whatever. They're constantly working and changing and doing the graphics for. I'm like, wow, guys. I mean, it kind of blew me away.
I am going to come back to the importance of making a show being a collaborative effort in a moment, but I am curious for the two of you. When you get a script like this, can you tell when it's written by someone who has an understanding of the craft of acting?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. When the words flow so freely and so easily, you can tell that they've been put through the synapses of someone who does that for a living. And this was that from the get-go. Yeah.
Yeah, you can really, you can really feel it. Like it, you can feel when words stick in your mouth. You find it even with like auditioning, things that can't stick into your mind. It's normally because it's not written very well. And it's like, when we got this script, it was juicy and luxurious, and it was in our voices and in this northern tone, and it felt really like normal, but then also really elevated, and then really easy, and then really rich, and then all of the stuff. And you just go, this is written by someone who knows what it feels like to say good dialogue, not someone who is just trying to get their intelligence down on a page, or like the exposition back down on the page. It's someone who enjoys speaking the words too.
It must be so exciting to get material like that. I feel like that could answer one of these questions, but I have a two-part question for both of you about joining the show. When you first kind of like signed on the dotted line, what aspect of your character were you most looking forward to playing with? But then also, can you tell me a part of them that you found along the way?
I guess there was a lot with Eddie early on that was unexplained, from the first, we got the first 2 episodes to go from. So obviously I knew the backstory, and then he'd been released from prison, and he had this checkered past, and then during exploring him, we'd found a visual look and a quality to him that I wanted to play with. But I didn't know exactly where he was going to go. So it was like a page turner each time. We got a really pleasant resolve that I'm very excited for people to see with this energy. But yeah, he's an interesting character for sure.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, from the get-go, like the dialogue for me, I really love the way that Riya speaks. I love her her hardness and her sarcasm, but also her warmth too. You can really feel her the walls and the defenses that she puts up. But the need to keep people at arm's length, but also the want for community and love. So yeah, it was the whole package. It was the whole thing. And then speaking to Andy about what the journey is gonna be, it was just exciting because every single person and every single thing I feel that has any kind of focus in the story, even if it's a fleeting focus, actually has purpose and has a journey, whether it's a person or a thing. And that for me was like, this is brilliant. Nothing is superfluous. Everything has meaning and is needed. Yeah.
I love hearing that because I feel like those are the signs of a show that is worth finishing to the end and then going back and restarting so you can see all the little seeds that were planted all along the way. I have to wrap with you soon. I wanted to come back to you, Andy, about the collaborator idea, because one of the greatest things about making a show is like you craft this story that's important to you, but then you bring in other artists and you hand your baby to them and they help evolve it. So can you name a specific aspect of the finished product, Passenger, that was like more effective, like stronger than you ever could have imagined at the start because of what someone else brought out of it?
But yeah, I mean, there's one initial example of that definitely springs to mind. I mean, I should mention that everyone along the way put their 2 Ps with it. I mean, I'm so unbelievably grateful to the entire team. But Lee Hayden Jones, we had 2 amazing directors, Lee and Nicole. But I mentioned Lee because his right-hand man, this DOP called Brian, at the very start, I think Wunmi and Barry would agree that we didn't have the greatest budget on the planet. It was an okay budget, but it wasn't the greatest budget.
And most of it went on the snow.
Most of it went on the snow. So we, and Brian was like, I was like, what kind of things have you been working on? Was that, well, it's funny you come over, Andy, because I was thinking about this as a look for the show. And I was like, okay. I think that's maybe another show with a bigger budget, maybe, or I don't think we'll achieve that. It looks incredible, but I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. And then we did the read through, and then he showed all the powers that be the same images. And he was like, I thought about this as a look for it. And they were all like, yeah, I mean, that if you can do that, then great. And he somehow did it.
Yeah.
Very talented.
So when I was first watching the rushes of everything, I was like, how's he done that on so little time and everything else? I'm like, that's kind of blown my mind. But yeah, everyone. Oh yeah. Through their ideas and everything. It was wonderful. I love
emphasizing. I will say, you see everything that you have spent on the script. Like the production value is through the roof. So it doesn't surprise me to hear you pinpoint that specific element of it.
Yeah.
I must let you all go. I'm going to say huge congratulations on Passenger, and thank you so much for sharing some of your experience with us.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for watching this interview. Keep an eye out for even more coming your way from New York Comic Con 2024.